Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now tuned in to the #1 podcast in the United States and parts of Asia. I am your host, your co-host right now, the man, the myth, the legend, North Florida's own C. Turner. And that's what I'm saying. I got my Wade County shit on. This ain't got shit to do with Chicago. I just want to put that out there right first and foremost. While I'm talking about Wade County, put your that 305 up real quick. And I do that for the guests that we got on right now. But let me introduce the co-host real quick. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Six, Big Game James himself, Mr. Saturday Night, the West Coast, the West Suburbs, the South Suburbs, James, Big Game Madison Walton III. What's going on, baby?
I mean, listen, like normally I'm always smiling when this show starts, man. But I ain't even got no little funny little joke I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make sure we kick my guy in right now. America, listen, this is how I'm gonna start this show. And Chris, you know if I'm saying this, I'm not saying it to kiss nobody's ass. So I'm kissing nobody's ass on this show.
Facts.
So you are talking about our league, and you are talking about Mount Rushmore when it comes to my position. It starts and ends with this dude on this screen. And that's a 100 thing. I wanted to say that to him face to face. So he always knows that. Yes, I might be Miss Saturday Night and all that whoop-de-whoop, but there's only one Jerry Rice in this league. And he happens to go by the name of James Terry. JT, my guy, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show, dude.
Man, I appreciate you, man. It's been a long time coming. We finally got it going. We've been planning it for what, a couple weeks now?
Yeah, man, we've been doing, I mean, this adult life, man. Remember when we was just 24, 25, and we just be like, hey, man, I'll see you this week, you know what I'm saying? Like, meet you halfway, Omaha, hit the casinos, you know, whatever.
We pull in town, call me, I'm coming to scoop you up. We going that.
Hey, real talk. So America, like, I mean, like this for us, I mean, obviously, you know, we've had Coach O on, who technically now is the first Hall of Fame IFL guy that we've had on the show. Very honored. And JT, you were mentioning, we were talking before we hit the record button, man, but I think O didn't even know that. Or maybe he did, but tell us what you were telling us about Coach O and his inauguration to the Hall of Fame and all that, man.
I felt like, bro, it was way past due. Like, it got to the point, like, I got so upset at voting because I was like, well, how is he not getting in? So I'm just like, well, I mean, I'm not even finna waste my time voting no more, man. Coach O should have been in a long time ago. So honestly, I felt like they say our votes count, but I felt like it didn't because some people got in that shouldn't even be in for a long time from now. But Coach O was way past due, man. Coach O should have been first ballot.
So that's an ode to you, O. I just want to let you know that one of the pillars of that league, there's like 5 or 6 of them, and James Terry is a big part of that league. He got about half them championships. I mean, the only other guy with more rings, I think, in that league, not named Curtis Riggs, is Chris Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got the second most.
How many, Chris? No, I got more than Chris.
Well, Chris has got, I'm just talking in the IFL. We talking overall, you got a shit ton of rings.
Because I got 8.
Yeah, 8. There's 4 they don't count. You know what I'm saying?
You got a point.
So I was there for a good point. I was around for 3 of them 4. I had a good seat for a couple of those. And I had to eat one of those.
Hey, you balled out that game though.
I mean, you know, I did all right, man. We got time to get to that. This is going to be a nice little stream, America. But, I mean, Chris mentioned it, you know what I'm saying? And really for me, man, just to highlight you, I mean, tell me about the 305 back when James Terry was coming up, man, in high school, man. What was it like down there, you know, at the height of, you know, Florida State being top? Miami was on their way back up, man. Does high school life for you, dude?
High school, man. High school was fun. I mean, you talking about I was a 3-year starter on varsity playing quarterback in high school. So, I mean, you got offers coming left and right. Miami's Miami, man. You know, We always, state of Florida, nothing better coming out of the state of Florida. That's why every football, everything, we claim it. We call it the state of Miami, whatever y'all want to call it. We rope ourselves off. We're not even located in Florida. We're in the state of Miami, man.
So let me go ahead and chime in because I want to say because I feel like that was a slight shot at me, but I ain't gonna say
Nah. I mean, you know how it is. Like when we talk football, Florida guys always compete against each other. Always. Exactly. But boy, when we out of state, it's always one state against everybody else.
Exactly.
Like it's just so competitive down there. We always compete against each other and who the best is. But when we out of state, boy, we rep Florida to the death.
So, man, he ain't lying, bro. Like, so come down to it. Florida gets split in half, essentially. I don't even know if it's in half. Like, so it's North Florida, and that go down to about Pahok. Now, I wouldn't even say that far. It goes right in front of Orlando. Mm-hmm. And then it's Miami and down. Like that panhandle shit don't count. And we really don't even count them Orlando teams. So like Tough Johnson and all them, we love them to death, but like they don't really count. So like
don't do Tough like that. Tough is from down there too.
Man, listen, we don't really count Tough like that because he went to UCF. So it's North Florida and it's South Florida. Like, I don't know. Ted, did you go to grad night? Y'all went to Disney World or whatever, like at midnight or whatever?
Yeah.
So what you may not know, every year, and they had to cancel it because of this, every year you go down to grad night and it's all the Florida schools or whatever. Sure enough, by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear them down there yelling out Dade County. We up there yelling out Duval hard and everything. And it's a fight. It's a fight about to break out instantly.
Yeah.
Because like it ain't no love loss whatsoever because every year some North Florida school got to play a South Florida school in the state championship every year. Mm-hmm. But when the California-Florida game or whatever, or like Florida versus whoever, Florida-Georgia game, it's all love then. But grad night? Oh, nah, bro, you got to fight me. That's what it come down to.
I mean, that's exactly what it sounds like, man. It literally sounds like what I would expect, man. Like
grad night got shut down a couple times because every time you walking through, and it was always Dade County and Duval. Always. We go around, right, chilling, having a good time. It's like as soon as we see each other, it's Duval. Like, oh man, it's about to go down.
It's on site.
Duval versus Dade. I love that, man.
We about to turn Disney World out up here. They don't even know. They don't even know what's about to happen. And the thing about it happens about every year.
Yep.
You know,
go ahead.
No, he mentioned something to me that is, just through all that and talking about that. And I obviously, knew that because, we've all known each other for so long. But the thing that gets lost about Florida, that you mentioned you're coming up is that you played quarterback all your years in high school.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that dynamic that some of the greatest football players, I mean, obviously we touched on Dion in this show quite a bit, especially with the HBCU. We spent a lot of time to that. Mm-hmm. But touch on that dynamic of so many of you guys that were playing quarterbacks went on to just be great skilled position players, and what that kind of really did for you as a player, moving forward after high school, playing quarterback and all that.
Well, you got to think about it, bro. Coming up, like everybody down there, like athletes. So we was never one position.
No.
Never one position, bro. Like Pop Warner, I played quarterback, free safety, DN, whatever you can do to get in there, bro. Like,
get on the field. I
always tell people, when you get somebody from Florida, don't put them at one position. Like, we can play everything. So, I mean, I played quarterback my whole life. A lot of people don't know. I didn't even play receiver until I got to college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, high school, I made all day then, all state at quarterback, but I knew I was going to switch the position when I got to college.
Yeah.
Which brings me right to my next question. And so obviously I've got a guy here that I roll with, and he knows how I feel about Bobby Bowden. And I know how you guys feel about Bobby Bowden more than I would in the state of Florida and what he means. You know, it's like Bobby Bowden, Jimmy Johnson, Schellenberger, and then you can float guys in between there. You can float Spurrier in and out of there. You can float Larry Coker in and out of there. I know, you know, Larry's a big part of things there. You can float Butch in and out of there, and what Butch did. You know, there's a lot of guys. Bill Snyder.
Oh man.
Kansas State. Tell us, you know, because I think you and I are the same class. You were class 2001.
2000.
All right, so you're older than me. And then Chris is obviously the class of 02. So all of us came up to, you know, right around the same time. What made you choose to go on out there to the little, as they call it, the little Big Apple?
A little bit of well, like coming out of college, like, you know, when you go to JUCO, bro, like Auburn sent me to Butler. So I signed with Auburn out of high school. They sent me to Butler.
Okay. See, now I didn't know that.
Yeah.
As you can tell, JT, we don't do research on this show like we should. Like I actually never knew that about you. I didn't know that Auburn. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay, now the hatred that's here like just doubles now. This is very intriguing.
Oh no, it definitely doubles because he would have been a part of them Auburn teams that
that was whooping your ass.
Yeah.
And he stayed. Hey, so like think about that. Now I'm gonna let him get back in. So that would have been him with Cadillac Williams.
Yep.
And Ronnie Brown.
And Ronnie Brown, Jason Campbell.
And Jason Campbell throwing him the rock. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it would have been okay. I just wanted to get it out there. Because every once in a while, JT, I gotta take shots at him.
Nah, you good, bro.
But yeah, Auburn, huh? So was that Coach Tuberville? Or was it about
Tuberville? Because they had Coach Eddie Green that was doing all the recruiting for South Florida.
Yep.
Okay.
He was the running backs coach. He was doing all the recruiting. So he sent me out to Butler. So I went out to Butler. After I finished out there, initially I was supposed to go to Florida. But if you remember, that's the year Steve Spurrier left.
Yep.
So when I got that, both of my brothers went to West Virginia. So it was either between Kansas State, go to Auburn, West Virginia, or Washington State. So I was just like, well, I mean, I'm already here in Kansas. So I might as well just go out here and just go play at Kansas State. I didn't want to go to West Virginia because I felt like they didn't show me any interest. They thought I was just coming there because both of my brothers went there.
Right.
So and then I was just like, well, I want to make my own name. I want to go out there and play behind them. You know, they already got there and they got their name out there right there. So I didn't want to go do that. And I didn't want to travel all the way to Washington State, coming all the way from Miami. So, I mean, it was like somewhat of a easy choice. It wasn't really that tough.
So let me ask you this, because State sent me to Mississippi pretty much to hide out. Was one of the Mississippi JUCOs an option for you?
Was it? No, you know what was an option? Georgia Military.
Me, yep.
But I was just like, there's no way in the hell I'm going to a military school. Me? Man, I'll get kicked out first semester. Y'all crazy.
So, well, let me tell you this. Like, so when you come out of Florida, whether you get to go into the four-year school initially and get into a bit of trouble like some of us did, or you got to go the JUCO route. Georgia Military is always the first option that they try to throw at you because they feel like, all right, we keep you in Georgia. You're going to stay somewhere in this whole Georgia, Florida State, Miami, University of Florida. Like, you're going to stay somewhere in there if you go to one of them schools. Now, here's the kick part of it. I can't think of but one Florida cat that actually ever went to Georgia Military and got out. Dude, like, it's rough. Like, it's just when you go from being all world in Florida and then you got to live by this strict set of guidelines for a year. Nah, it don't work out. It don't work out.
No, sir.
I believe that, man. I mean, and it's so crazy to hear you say Butler because, you know, obviously I was doing the, you know, not top 500 thing, you know, not too far away from you. You know, I was in the MIAA. So, I mean, I was in the Midwest. So you was in Kansas like that. that made sense. So that, I'm thinking about the same Butler, right? Butler community, it's right there. So for him to go to like hearing this now and everything, it makes perfect sense. Which leads me always to my favorite thing. It's not even a braggadocious thing, but Chris Turner, the first time I ever met James Terry was on a video game. I told him this when we started becoming boys. I said, this is fucking crazy. Like, I'm hanging out with somebody I used to throw touchdowns to. And I mean, hey, Chris, like, for real, what was your rating again on NCAA at its peak?
Why you gotta bring up?
Just for perspective.
My rating my freshman year was a 67.
Okay, and then what was your rating at the end of Alabama?
My rating my junior and senior year was my junior year I was a 75.
So you was getting through every once in a while, right?
Right, and then my senior year I was like a 79.
Yeah, so I mean, you was making like simulation 79. You making a play interior, like that's all right. That wasn't it. I'm not trying to shit on you, but I tell you, when I tell you this dude had like 93 speed on the game, I was like, dude. And then you would watch him. Play. And it was so crazy to me. Like, it's so like with you, because it's like, it's one thing to know a guy and he's your friend, right? And it's another thing. Hey, baby. It's another thing when you meet him in person. JT, when I used to watch you play, I didn't think you were 6'4". Like, your game was not 6'4".
No.
You had more Peter Ward to your game, which makes sense because that was basically the essence of every wide receiver from our era. Yeah. You either wanted to be Randy or you wanted to be Doug. Yeah. They were like the gods of what we did, man. Mm-hmm. So like, what was that experience like, and for our casual viewer doesn't know, you and L. Roberson, who's a guy who gets swept under the rug a lot when they talk about, great black college quarterbacks, and Darren Sproles, and you guys being in those triplets that you guys were there, man. Tell us about that whole 2 years together, man.
It was fun, bro. Like, it was tough playing for Coach Snyder because you got like this old school type coach that
he was 80 by the time you got there.
Bro,
yeah.
No fun. Like, all business, smart, like real smart as hell. Like, the dude used to have a bed in his office. Like, he barely went home. He slept at the stadium, watched film right after the game. After we coming out, we going home. His car is the only one still up there watching film. Mm-hmm. So he kept a bed, kept suits, everything in his office because he barely left the office. Like, he put in the work. Like, we had coaches complaining about the amount of work that they had to put in. But no, it was fun, man. The first time I think I saw L playing was my sophomore year. They played Oklahoma, and he had a field day out there. And I think they lost maybe by a touchdown that year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I heard of Sproles, but I was just like, man, I know in the hell this little bitty dude out here doing no work like that. But boy, when you got there and see it with your own two eyes, it was the real deal. Like, it was the real deal, man. Like, he do work hard. He worked out hard. The gym, off season, you know me, I was lazy. Man, I ain't going no off season. Hey, I'm not going no off season conditioning. Man, it's hot out there. Y'all crazy. Bro, hey, if it's like 99 or 100, it's about 120 on that turf.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys had the old AstroTurf.
No, they actually switched it. The year I got there, we switched to field turf.
Oh, okay.
So the only problem we have with that is when you get that actual first field turf, you got that rubber stuff bouncing all in your face.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like all in your eyes, your mouth.
And it's hot.
You get home, it's still coming out of your clothes.
Yeah, it's showing up places they ain't supposed to show up, like.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah. Like, man, it was crazy. Like, we had people throwing up like the rubber pellets. It was so bad, bro. But no, it was fun, man. Like them dudes put in the work. I mean, and I felt like our defense, like we had the #1 defense that year. Actually, 2002.
Yeah.
We had the #1 defense that year. Them boys was like the real deal. And you have to think about it. Like we were 7 points away from going to the national championship.
I'm trying to remember. So what year was that again?
My junior year. We finished the season off ranked #6 in the nation, and we lost to Texas by 3 points off a blocked field goal to send the game to overtime.
So that was 02.
Yeah, and we lost to Colorado by 4.
Chris, that was you guys. Was that the year you guys beat Oklahoma?
Oh, that was my senior year. We beat Oklahoma. My junior year, we was the only team that beat USC. And you remember they beat Iowa, beat the crap out of Iowa in the Orange Bowl.
Yep.
That's when they had Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer's year, yeah. Because they had Brad Banks.
But it was Mike Williams' first year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Williams dropped like wide open, like 8 bombs, wide open.
Yeah.
If he would have caught them passes, it would probably been a different game. I mean, running wide open, dropping them, bro.
Well, I give him credit.
He showed out though. After that, he just went on.
He figured it out because there's not too many guys. You know, you bring up Mike Williams with everything that's going on. Isn't it crazy? Like, I think for you, even in that era, because I definitely want to talk about, you know, your time in the league too. You spent a little bit, but you forget about Mike Williams and like what he did.
He was a dog.
Yeah.
Is the architect of what's happening now with all these kids saying, nah, bitch, I'm cool.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Williams was doing that.
Originally.
It is amazing to me, like, having him on the show, Chris. We've been doing this show for a year. It took James Terry 10 minutes to connect those dots. That's why he's going to be a reoccurring guest, and we'll make sure the next episode is on Spotify. We don't get we don't get all that fixed, JT. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about Mike Williams sitting out the year because he tried to challenge and go.
Mm-hmm.
And he still got drafted 10th.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me. Like that era of, I mean, I'm always just going to be biased to our era because I feel like it's the last of it. Like anybody that played college ball in that era is that. Like, let me make that clear to all my friends. Like, are you trying to compare yourself to James Terry and Mike Williams and they primes in college? Absolutely not. Because I was
just
not.
The era.
I'm just talking about I played in the same window of time as these guys.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, but you got to think, bro. Then, like, my senior year coming out, like, I came out in the receiver-heavy draft. Like
that was the 04 draft, right?
Yep.
That was Larry's draft, wasn't it?
It was Larry. It was, remember, Reggie Williams that was out in Washington.
Rashawn Woods, that draft.
Rashawn Woods.
Yeah, that's the draft that had the most receivers to ever go in the first round. It'll never be topped again.
Yeah.
There were 7. I remember watching that like.
Yeah, there was some dogs came out then, bro.
Like, yeah, because Larry went 2. I remember Rashawn Woods because Rashawn Woods,
he got
outside of
San
you,
Francisco.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players at that level.
Yeah, and Roy Williams too.
That was the Roy Williams.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't there a Roy Williams that played running back at A&M too at the same time? There were 2 Roy Williamses.
I remember, because you remember, what's the dude name out of
Washington? It's the safety. It was not it wasn't another. It was a safety.
Yeah.
It was Roy Williams, a safety, Roy Williams, wide receiver.
Yeah. I think like all of them went first round too.
Yeah, that was nuts, dude. Like it was different times. Everybody was, because you know what it was? Everybody was trying to get a Randy and T.O.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of y'all that was 6'3" and could go.
Everybody, bro. Everybody. It was all big receivers.
Yeah.
And that was the thing at the time, because at that time that there was no hybrid player. Like, okay, you're an X receiver, you're X.
Yeah.
You a slot, you a slot. You're not a slot and a running back. You're not a H back and this, that, and third. Like, you my go-to, you my X receiver, and you lining up outside all the time. Like, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's like, and now with the NFL, like, you got to be able to play X, Y, Z, and then you got to be able to do this, that, and the third. And then I might need you on special teams too, which I guess as a company, it saves you money because you got a guy that can fill in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it takes you have to be an athlete now. Like now more so than ever because, all right, your ass ain't getting open out there on that. So I got to put you inside to see if you can do something.
Right.
You got to go.
Which is pathetic because if you can't get open inside, you have no business playing. Man.
That's where that money at.
Bro, they took me. Hey, I worked hard, JT, at my little D2 school there in Missouri. So we had a guy. I have to do that in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna pay homage to my guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this was there's only a couple guys, and we're gonna get to that. We still got time.
All right.
That are, I know. I can't wait to hear JT's IFL Mount Rushmore. We gotta tell his whole story through all this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get there.
Because he's holding in right now. I'm gonna let his ass go loose a little bit. I mean, it's on him, but I remember we had a guy named Andrew Blakely who was one of my mentors. Mm-hmm. And Andrew, when he left, he was 6th all-time in receptions in all college football. He had 300 catches. And when he graduated, my other mentor, Alfonso Pugh, who I was meant to take over because I was tall. I wasn't like this dude, Punch was 6'3", 230, running 4'5". Like, so he's kind of like that. He had a lot of Anquan to his game, but with a football in his hand, he was like 4'3".
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
He had screen game. Like, he was one of those. He put his foot in the ground on a quick screen. You give him one block. So when they were gone, it was like, well, we're going to keep him outside. They had moved me to the slot. They were like, well, you're the best we got. And I was like, oh, man, I'm about to catch all these balls. JT, I was hyped. My first game, I started the slot. My first game as a sophomore. Yeah. Had 9 catches, 109 yards. We got our ass whooped. I was like, dude, I'm about to be an All-American. I was like, this is way different because nobody touches you. No. Especially in that era. And I wasn't even like, I was getting strong. I wasn't strong. I was getting fast. I was fast, but I wasn't fast. I think I was finally breaking 4.5 by that point. Like I'm a true like late breeder. Like there's no Florida in my body whatsoever. Like I had to go earn all that shit. But it's like, dude, like that first game, I was like, bro, I can't wait to have 95 catches, 1,400 yards, 9, 10 touchdowns. I was like, I made. And then we played Illinois State. And I actually ended up like straining my quad, right? I caught 2 catches in that game for -6 yards. Oh, wow. Yeah, I am the only stud I know that has multiple negative receiving stat lines. And good, boy. Hey, dude, they beat the shit out of us, bro. So I had this quad, but I was like, I ain't sitting like there's a lot of dudes hungry for my spot. But I was getting the wrong treatment. I should have been getting muscle stem, but I was getting like ultrasound. I didn't get healthy. Yeah. Played Pitt State, had like 6 for 60. They're like, we're going to move you back outside. I was like, no. Wow. Oh, it was good. Oh, man. And I'm telling you, I think I only had 6 catches. Ooh, blew the cash. About 9 more times for the next 3 years, bro. It was rough. I'm telling you. But dude, it was something about you 3 together, man. And I know this for a fact. It's not like hey, let's get Darren on the show, get Ellis show. We're not, that's not us. But I remember seeing highlight videos of you guys playing together, man. Like you guys really, really liked each other. And I think that's really kind of the blueprint offensively of how it goes. Like I think there was a lot of unselfishness to you guys in college because Darren was all world. Oh, everything. I was as big of a Darren Sproles fan when he was at Kansas State. And I remember being 1920 and like, well, he's too small. I said, no, he's not. No. That dude, and he proved it because he played as long as anybody could play. Yeah. And think about those, you know, and you guys were teammates, obviously, in San Diego for a little bit of time, but we'll get to. But man, what was that just energy like? Where it's like L would take his turn to like spell Darren, then it's like AJT, Joe turn. Like, what was that like? That chemistry like with you guys?
It was just like we knew we was like that core of guys. Like the offense went around us. That's what it was. But myself, I was just like, well, I mean, Kansas State, option first. It's always option first. It was a run game first.
They ran the shit out of the option, boy.
Man. Hey, let me tell you, the only way I knew I was getting the ball if that running game wasn't working. So the running game wasn't working, or vice versa. I mean, the running game's working so much, they crowd the box. So now we got to open it up and get them out of the box. So, I mean, we fed off each other. But it was just like if that ground game was going, oh, you probably getting 3 to 4 catches. Hey, you probably get 3 to 4 catches. They gonna try to get you deep, but they gonna be hitches, all hitches too. Because it was like it was games L had about 290 rushing, Sproles had probably about 200 rushing, and I probably had 3 catches for like 20-something yards.
Hey, but getting dubs.
Yeah, I was all with it. I'm just like, if we lose, I'm gonna be pissed. But if we win, I'm fine with it. But boy, if we lose, I'm gonna be mad as hell. Hey, for real. But I mean, they've been there before me. I knew it was their show. I was just coming in to help out, man. I mean, I did my part. We fed off each other. I mean, them dudes like L. I don't think L get half the credit.
No,
like he should get.
Not at all.
Excuse my shocked face. Somebody ring our doorbell. And our doorbell does not get ring. I was like, what? Y'all probably heard that. I was like, who is ringing doorbells during the show? Oh, you know, real 3. That's a 5.
This mother.
Ugly ass 5. Anyway, so this is one thing, you know, Chris. We've had enough guys on this show. And I don't know what it is about this dude, you know, but it makes me want to ask. I want to ask both you guys this. Tell me about y'all's pro days experience and like what that was like, you know, with having scouts there, because obviously you guys both, you know, had them,
right,
being there, and we've never, you know, we've had the show a year and some change now. But like, what is the pro day experience like for guys like you guys that know, like, obviously I'm an NFL talent, and like what your mindset is going into, like, what am I supposed to, like, what I need to do here, what I'm going through, measurements, you know, all the hoopla that is, because obviously Kansas State, when you were there was a lot of hoopla because you guys were a very good football team. And then Chris, of course, with you're at Alabama because it's Alabama. They've produced, even in that era where you guys were here. I'll take my shots at him when I can, Jake.
I don't appreciate that shit at all.
You know, they won a championship. Like, I mean, like he has been shitting on me since January. But much. Like, either one of you guys can go first. Like, I'm just intrigued about that. You know, being like the D2 guy, like, you don't have that, you know, like Delaney Walker had it. I didn't have that because I wasn't Delaney Walker.
Like, I know with me, I had no pressure, dude. Like, it was, so when I was coming out, like, I knew the strong side defensive end, Mark Anderson, was going to get drafted. I knew that. Like, it was what it was. I knew somebody was going to draft him. So my whole thing was, I got to just look a little bit better than him. So me being from Florida and like all that, I knew I had speed on my side. Like, I was 270, 285, but I was still running 4.7, 4.8 because like I didn't too much care for, and this might be the tale of most Florida cats, I didn't too much care for the weight room.
Yeah.
But if you want to race, bro, these shoes coming off, we can get it. Like
all day.
Like I've been racing since I was like 6, 7 years old. So I knew, all right, the weight room's gonna be okay. I'll do 225, 25 times maybe, like somewhere in that acceptable range for a defensive lineman. So 25, 27. But I knew what was going to get me a shot was me running this 40. So the whole time they're hyping up the whole pro day or whatever, hey, you guys just need to relax, but it's a business interview, this, that, and the third, whatever. So I'm just going to relax. So I came in, headphones on, like the little pro day shirt that they give you in the craft, and they want you to take your shorts off. And
what was in your headphones? What was in your headphones?
Oh, I had LeJon, the East Side Boys. I had, because and here's the thing, I had the underground Plies when Plies was with Slip and Slide Records.
Oh, yeah.
So I had that go. I got Bond money going. Like I'm in it. Like I'm over there cooling by myself. So, all right, they did my height, weight, and like you know me, I'm cracking jokes the whole time. Cause like at the end of the day, it's still football. So like I'm gonna have fun with it. So did my height and weight, and then did 225. And like I remember I got to like 25, struggled to get to 25. And like the guy was like, you got like 5 more in you. Ooh. Nah, I'm cool. Right. And like I remember like the dude from the Cincinnati Bengals laughing. He was like, dude, like I've never seen anybody just say I'm cool. I was like, I'm cool, man. Like, you know, like it is what it is. I got out there for the 40. And what's the boy name from the Olympics? Maurice Green. I remember I was like, yo, all right, somebody at the end, I'm gonna need you to have a fire extinguisher because I'm about to blaze this whole damn thing up. So, yo, somebody get the fire extinguisher ready. So coach is laughing or whatever. Went out there, I ran a 4.78, and then I ran a 4.76. And like the dude looked, I was like, yeah, that's what I was banking on. But I had fun with it. Like I was playing with house money, honestly. Like I was just playing with house money. So it wasn't like, oh, this is going to ruin the rest of my life. Like it's all right, well, somebody going to take a shot on me or they ain't. That's how I took it.
Go ahead, JT.
For me, man, it was just like, my last semester, I didn't even go back to school. I just moved out to Marietta and started training out there. So, it was just the process of getting ready for it. You know, they was talking about me my whole time. It was always about my weight. Getting in the weight room. I'm just like, I don't know why. I ain't getting under that 225 anyway. I think I'm about to get under there, embarrass myself. Y'all want to see me put this thing up once or twice? That's all you're going to get out of me. Hey, man, please. So I was just like, my mind, I'm already know I'm not doing the 225. Me and all my homeboys, we lazy. Like, we ain't go to no off-season workouts. We ain't go to no gyms. Like, man, please. So, my agent was there. He told me, like, don't even worry about it. I was just like, yeah, because I'm not getting under there. I don't care what. So, it ain't happening. They called my name. I was just like, yeah, I'm straight. Then the agent was just like, yeah, just brushed it off, told the other dudes, like, yeah, we ain't doing that. We just going to do everything else. So, we was more so focusing on the 40, the short shuttle, and all that stuff like that. So, the whole time I was focusing, my 40, first time I ran 4.43. Second time I ran 4.47. So I was just like, oh shit, I'm cool with that, you know. But before I got there, which I should have kept working out before I went. I stopped working out probably like 2-3 weeks before the pro day. Because when I left the workout facility, I ran 4.37. So I was feeling good about that.
Yeah, that would explain. Like, that was a known. Like you could scoot because 90 plus speed on college football. That's all I'm saying, JT. I threw a lot of bombs to you from L. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm just like, the Raiders the whole time telling me, you run another 4.4, we're going to draft you. But my whole thing, like, I knew I was a knucklehead. I didn't listen to the coaches. Bro, when I tell you, I can look back on it now and say it was all me because I'm grown now.
Right.
It was all, bro. We was playing Texas. I was just like, yeah, I'll be back Thursday. I'm going home. I'm in Miami the whole time. Like, what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna bench me. Y'all ain't got nobody else to throw the ball to. What you gonna do? So I was just a complete knucklehead, bro. I didn't go to no off-season workouts. We had 30 for 30s where we had to get 30 conditioners in, 30 weight room. I was like 3 and 5. I was not doing no 30 and 30. Bro, just a complete knucklehead. I'm just going home. like we got a bye week. Like I'm not sitting around here and doing nothing because we got Texas next week. Man, Texas better watch film on us. I'm going home. I'll be back next Thursday, man. Just complete knucklehead. And I just knew, boy, like as if I just knew I got blackballed. They already told me, like, yeah, the coach is telling me you just no, that's nothing. You go off pure athleticism. That's all you got. No work ethic. You're lazy. All of that. I mean, which I understand. Like, it was what it was. I just ain't even give a care back then, bro. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to the league. Y'all see the film. I get work ethic when I get there. So I mean, and they was telling me the whole time, like these coaches say, you just gotta listen. Like you just don't listen, you don't pay attention. But I'm just like, man, my receiver coach went to an NAIA. Ain't nothing he teach me. Like just like that type of stuff, bro. Like just a complete knucklehead, man. So my whole pro day, I'm just like, all right. I then dropped one pass, had a good pro day, ran a good short shuttle, a good 40. But it was just like your size and like you just not, they say you're not coachable. So I mean, right now, looking back on it, I mean, I understand it. I really wasn't, bro. I was an asshole.
Bro, let me tell you this, like the knock on me, and they even put this in my NFL jacket, like is dominant when he wants to be and is dominant when he gets mad or whatever. And like it even said like this, and this might be a Florida thing too, now that you're talking, like said takes nothing. The dude said, like, dude, you take nothing serious. Like, no, because I remember during the pro day, I lined up at receiver just to show a bitch I could run.
Yeah.
Like, they was going their routes or whatever. I was like, man, shit, bet me $10 I go line up at receiver right now, run a fade. I bet you won't. And went over there. I done grabbed like one of like they do like single digits or whatever, put it on. Hey, yo, we right here with it. I remember the dude from the Bucks is like, shit, let's see if he can do it. Got off of it, caught it, talking shit or whatever. And like the guy came on.
That's crazy, CT, like that part of it. Because in this era, it'd be like, look at his ambition.
Right.
He went out there and did a receiver drill and got off a jam and showed two hands. Oh, he's our hybrid fullback now.
But like JT said, like during, like, dude, in part one of football, I played defensive end, linebacker, running back, tight end. Like it was just like I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
So like even when we playing like football in the street, I don't want to snap the ball and go block. Put me a receiver. I want to catch. So like even then, like the dude was like, man, like your coach is right. Like you're athletic as hell and you could be dominant, but you don't take shit serious, do you? Nah, I don't. Like it ain't no point. Like I'm not gonna die from it, so now I'm good.
Yeah. Let me tell you something I thought about though. Like when I got older, I'm gonna tell you how Coach Snyder did me. He was real smart about it. We was about to play OU, and he was always telling me like they was always saying like he will like fuck you up, bro. Like you play football and like he will get you, like you won't get drafted. Like because the year before we had a dude named Taco Wallace. Taco had probably 36 catches, 500 yards, and got drafted like 5th, 6th round. My senior year, bro, I went over 1,000 with like 13 touchdowns and didn't get drafted. So we got to the OU game. We running this play all week. Now, Walt, you play receiver. You tell me what you think. And see if we thinking the same thing. Okay. We had a play. It was called a slant stop, but we was optioning to my side, and they wanted me to run a slant and stop. So I'm just like, well, that shit ain't gonna work. Our defense is flowing this way. Like, why would I run a slant stop? Whole week, like, bro, that shit ain't gonna work. We get in the game and run it. The set almost get picked off. We ran the option our way. L threw the slant, but I stopped. And I go back and watch the TV thing, and they just fucking blasting me for stopping on the slant route. Like the whole time was just like, look, he just gave up on the play. You don't stop.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the whole fucking week I've been saying
that's my whole senior year. My whole senior year got blamed on, well, his numbers were down because this and that. And it's like, really? I had 2 freshman quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I know what that feels like. That's the only thing I can relate to you and Chris on this is, but it's like, this is a problem. I was the guy going, it's like you looked around and you're like, man, I had this quarterback that was cerebral. Arm strength was what it was, and okay, but he was the smartest guy on the field. And once he figured out, like, we could have been better than 2-9 my junior year, had he done what we did in camp. That's the truth. Like, I hope he comes, Chris. My offensive coordinator. We had a great conversation because I wanted to let him know how much I appreciate him because he brought me to my wife. He was the first step. Any NFL conversation never gets me to today. And it was Coach Strohmeyer, my offensive coordinator. And we were sitting, I'll never forget, we were sitting in his office. I think we were going to Missouri Western. So it was 2 weeks before my NFL breakout game happened. And he goes, James, we're going to bench you. And have you come off the bench. And I said, word? I said, word. Like, yeah, we're going to go, with this guy. We feel like he gives a better option. I said, better option than me. 6'3", 205, 4'4", 240-yard dash. Yeah. Well, James, you just haven't lived up to your expectations. I said to his face in his office, I said, you didn't live up to your expectations. Because the shit we were doing in camp, we haven't done all season. And I made my money off man-to-man, which basically meant was my quarterback was supposed to read defense the same way I'm reading defense. And when you see I got one-on-one, we need to check red. Red was our hot color. Yeah. Let's go let James win. Because I was one of the best athletes in the entire conference, not just football player. I had just won the national championship in the long jump. Like, I'm one of the best athletes in all Division II football. You got to go let me win. And on top of that, everybody else on my team, and if they see this, I don't mean this any bad way. Because it's the truth. Because they all are living better than me. Outside of the fact my fiance is gorgeous and his apartment's gorgeous. But them guys are all knew they were going to be teachers and accountants and stockbrokers and financial, all that shit. Yeah. I was the one guy on my team. It's like the inverse of you guys. I went to a school that made sure, like, after 4 years, you had a great job, unless you were like Kane the wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Then you go be in a WWE for 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. But me, I was in the film room. Like, I wanted that so bad, but I also had similar talent. So when a guy tells me I didn't do what I did, and I'm like, no, you didn't do what you promised you were going to do for me. I'm the NFL talent. Where's the ball? And where's the play calling to get me the 10 attempts I should get? Where's the Randy ratio? Like, that's who I felt I was and proved that. So I remember going, I'll be back. Don't worry about it. 2 weeks later, things happen. I get put into that game. We're playing number 2 team in the country, JT. We were 0-8. They were 8-0. We almost beat these guys on our field. Like, they would have wrote a Disney movie about us if we'd have pulled this upset up. We lost by 3 with 26 seconds. I had 6 for 140. Half that defense either got tryouts or played in the NFL at some point. I had 6 for 140 in 3 quarters on fades.
Whoa. You're a freak athlete, though, bro. Like,
different. So I can understand, like, what you, because when you say, like, well, you're receiving, like, yeah, when you go, like, this ain't gonna work, like, and then you get me blasted and then you messed with my money. Yeah. It's almost like they put it in, like, knowing, like, hey, I could actually see where JT's head is going. So you put this route in, Chris, right? I'm gonna run it, and then they put it in on purpose, and then they, like, reached out to ESPN and go, we're gonna run it this time. Look for this route and destroy Terry, because Terry's the guy that went home versus Texas.
Man, hold on real quick. Let me go run and grab this chart.
You good, man. Do your thing, man. Go ahead, Chris.
Check this out. I feel like the Love Fest is wonderful and it's awesome and everything right now. I got to be petty because the show is built on controversy and me being ignorant as I am. And I ain't really had a chance to be ignorant these last couple of shows because been all emotional. We all kind of been in our feelings. We had life.
Yeah, we've had a lot of feelings on this show.
I feel like we got to get back to the crux of this show, which is me saying something ignorant and you having to defend it. So,
well, you did say something about the COVID, and I had to make you apologize. I think that's really what's got you upset.
I'm slowly getting back. I'm slowly getting back to the ignorance of the show. So we might have lost JT for a second. But
we'll bring him back.
Let's just get into the ignorance of all of it. And I was going to say some of this. Matter of fact, I'm going to make you answer it. And then if we get him back within the time frame, I'll ask him to. So let's just go into it. Walt, you're familiar with the IFL Hall of Fame, correct?
I mean, how familiar do you?
Now, I say that because.
Hold on one second. Let me give my baby a kiss. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get petty, and it's possibly will ruin Walt's chances.
All right, sorry. I hope those kisses were loud too, America. I hope you heard me kiss my soon-to-be wife.
So, what I was saying to the audience that's listening for this portion of the show is I'm possibly about to ruin your chances for getting to the IFL, but it's okay.
Why are you doing that, man? Like, I need this.
Listen, it's just, these are just questions. These are just questions. I mean, you can answer or you don't, but by not answering, it's kind of telling all by itself. So
yeah, I know. I don't really appreciate the position you're in.
It's this gotcha journalism. I love it. All right.
You're winning right now.
Well, are you familiar with the defensive backs that are in the IFL Hall of Fame?
One of them, yeah.
Did you play against that one?
I always, I don't remember. Like, I try to think about when he played. So I don't remember if I got him towards the end of my career, which where I had basically, was basically kind of like, hey, this is out of love for you. Like, I'm not trying to be the man anymore.
Right.
But no, I'm intrigued to see where this is going.
So we'll go. I'm just gonna go right into it. Like, let's say the IFL calls tomorrow. All right, Walt. We want you in the hall. We want you right now. But here's the only way we can do it. You got to pull out the receiver that you are way better than, that has no business being in this Hall of Fame. Who are you pulling out? Oh, he came back just in time, too.
Hey.
Just in time.
All right, so no, you're good, man. Go. Okay, so Chris, I'm gonna let you reset it. Don't worry, because I mean the fact that we got the GOAT here is I'm gonna let him go first on that, but
perfect.
Okay, reset the table for JT.
Not a problem. Like I said, we've been too lovey-dovey on the show. We know all your greatness. Hopefully, we're gonna have you back to go deeper into some other stuff. I'm petty, so this is my part of the show.
Okay.
All right. IFL legend. You're one in my book.
Well, you see his name.
And my window is small for a couple of reasons, because I just started chasing money around the league once the Billings Outlaw shit was over.
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fame, this, that, and the third. All right. If you had to pull a receiver out of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, man. You ain't even got to finish.
Who are you pulling out and why?
This is so petty.
Pray. All right, let's keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Bro, like, I mean, I like Prey. I like his game and stuff like that, but I feel like Prey is not better than he think he is. Like, he's not. Prey has never been a number one receiver.
Nope.
I mean, you got all your stats. Hell, I played the sorry team in the league 7 times.
Garbage time.
Right. like you play Cedar Rapids 7 times a year. Hell, I have 5,000 yards if I played them 7 times a year. Now we just keep it 100. Now, like Walt, you feel like Prey better than you?
Yes, well, answer the question. Answer the question.
Well, I've had enough sauce. Ain't none of y'all better than me. I mean, that's the 100. That includes you, IFL Go. That's my mentality.
That's supposed to be your mentality.
That's who I was. Did I always pay, homage and understood, where I was at and everything? Yes. But I mean, for me, I wouldn't take anybody out. I would look at it as
no, I'm gonna keep it 100. No,
yeah, like me, I don't even take anybody else to put me out. Like there's a difference between like he got something I got, or you just took a long time to realize you fucked up. And for me, that's my entire life in sports. I have high school and college teammates who are just now realizing, man, that dude was really good. I'm like, yeah, because I worked at it. On top of the gifts. So I was like, all the parts of you guys, and I had work ethic. It never got respected because my gifts were so great. It wasn't Miami, Dade County, and Jacksonville gifted great, because you two are different levels, like at our same ages. So we're all the same age, basically. You guys are way different level athletes at that point. Like that, I can say that with every bone in my body and know that. There was nothing in me that was going to be top 100 or top 150 or even top 200 in the country. You guys were fucking special, which is what made me being your teammates, playing against you special. But no, nobody has to take me out, like to put me in. And this is not what this show is here to do. All I have to do is say this. There's only one receiver in the history of indoor football that has ever had a season where he led the league in yards, catches, and touchdowns, and that's me. Nobody else has ever done that. And that right there is, as Bernie Mac would say, you need to shut the fuck up. Like, I don't have to worry about that.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I got you. Let me pose another question then.
Because listen, here's the thing about Brian Prey that I love. And I'm a fan of this. One, we both come from similar dynamics. Brian Prey and I played against each other in college.
That explains
He just didn't know that until we got older. Because I'm older than Prey. Obviously, because me and JT the same age. And Prey came well into, me and JT were, well, I can't even say JT was in his twilight, because JT played another 5 years and won like 5 rings. So I can't say JT was in the twilight when like I was coming down. Like JT was like, yep, let me go ahead and heal up, take some time, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lead the league in yards and catches.
But
take that shit, Walt, bitch.
You know what killed me about him though? He got an excuse for every single thing. This is why Brian Prey is coming on the show next, and then we're gonna have all 4 of us together. We're gonna have a fucking ball. That show's gonna be phenomenal. We can get on there together and we can do this the same way.
And let Chris Turner just keep throwing gasoline on it. I mean,
but I'm just like, you did your thing, but no team is ever game plan for you.
Nope.
You was never number one receiver. Never number one receiver. And you got like, show me your stats against them great Billings defense. How about that? I bet you can't show me one highlight against Billings. You can probably show me between Billings and Sioux Falls, you can probably put 3 highlights up there.
I was gonna say 2.
Hey,
that's all I'm saying.
You should see James Walton's work versus Sioux Falls.
But let me show you all. I don't brag about eating against sorry teams. You don't get no stripes for that.
You shouldn't.
Like, you don't get no stripes for that. You mean to tell me, so I'm gonna put it this way. Should he have gotten the Hall of Fame before you?
Well,
of course not. But
should he got in the Hall of Fame? He should have gotten you, Solo. You remember like Harry Lewis and all of them dudes we used to play against?
I mean, that's what JT. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, part of this is a gateway because there's certain guys that I want them to get their roses, since we've been doing this. So I'm hoping Houston checks out this video. I want Houston Lillard to come on and get his roses because that's a guy that just played in the wrong era. Houston would have won multiple titles if he didn't have to deal with you and deal with us.
He came at the wrong
Clinton
time.
Solomon, see, that's why I was going to get to that point when Chris, I just like how you're like, crash landing. We're going to go right into this shit.
Yeah.
I had a landing spot, but let me do this. James Walton's Mount Rushmore with him not in it. Like I said, the pillar is James Terry. Because when you win 8 championships and you got, like, here's the thing. You go look at his stats that they put up for the IFL on that record book. You need to add another 3,000 yards,
when it was like
maybe 4,000 yards, another 350 catches, another 40 to 50 touchdowns. Add that on. That's who James Terry was. Like, there was no doubt in my mind when they started his Hall of Fame. I was like, well, like, he needs to be the first to go in. Like, this guy he did it all.
Yeah.
So JT is the first face. I don't know if you want to, I don't want to put him as the George Washington face. We've talked a lot about this show. But he would be the Abraham Lincoln face. Like, he freed the slaves, right? Like, JT is the Abraham Lincoln face of Mount Rushmore, right?
Hey, man, if you don't cut that out, you need to get up out here.
I'm telling the truth. Here's the next guy. And it's not who you think it would be. JT knows this name. But actually, no, Chris, you played in Omaha. Luke McCardle is the next guy on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, Luke was a dog, boy.
Luke McCardle, dude.
Luke was a dog. That white boy used to eat.
Yeah. Against everybody.
Of course, what he did in Omaha, that year you guys were together, Chris played with him. But in Rock River, him and Ben Sankey, and then they had Lawrence Beatty on the outside too. Like, they were not, like, dude, that was the 07 year of the UIF, where the East actually, like, we were a good division to go face you in the finals. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
JT? So you had him. So he's my second guy. Clinton Solomon, without a doubt, has one of those 4 faces. Clinton Solomon, basically the conversation was always, take your pick. It was James Walton, James Terry, or Clinton Solomon, depending on what you liked.
That was the debate every year.
And the 3 of us did similar things. We just did it 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Solo played the way he played. I was way, like, I can't even describe styles. JT was the smoothest of the 3 of us. Like, there's everything he did, like, was true. Like, I always thought I was an effortless guy. JT, it was always like right space, right time, new to offense, new to defense. He's not looking like he's moving fast, literally at all. But I knew the guy was 4.3 in college. Like, I always knew that about James. So, fuck, I just called you James. Anyway, I knew that about JT. But Solo was special. And when you throw Solo and you throw James Terry together on a team for a couple of years, you're supposed to go undefeated. Like, that's supposed to happen.
You forgot about the X Factor. Carl was the X Factor.
Listen, Carl Sims is a touchy subject for me in the right ways.
Yeah.
And
but this what I'm gonna get this out.
But he's not. I love Carl, but Carl's not. Carl, you can rotate, like, that 4th spot is, like I said, with certain things. You can rotate that spot. But the pillars of our league, in my opinion, when it came to receivers, when I saw guys that could get down, there was nobody like Luke McCardle. There was nobody like you, and there was nobody like Clinton Solomon. Those were the guys that I saw. Like, I have to be as good as these guys every night.
Yeah.
If I'm not as good as these guys, I'm not giving Chris and Coach O what they traded for and Robert Reed. That's actually who I would put. Robert Reed would be the other pillar. Because he was there it is. So I answered your question. Robert Reed is the 4th pillar. So that's easy.
Like the whole thing with Brady, like I felt like he would have got in eventually, but it was some top receivers that should have got in before him.
I don't know how Clinton Solomon didn't go in. That to me was confusing. I thought after you, it would be Solo.
They didn't even put Solo in the voting.
And I don't understand that because his stats are, I mean, if we're talking pure stats, his are dumb. Because that Wichita year with him and Dixie,
man, he was doing work.
And D Fudge. Like, I mean, we can go down a list of guys where you're like, Fudge is not in? Is it because, like, is it the whole, because they're playing all the leagues thing?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but that's me, Chris. First and foremost, nobody, not even the GOAT, had a better 4-year window than I ever had in football. That's at that position. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
For all his years he played, and I know this because I'm a numbers guy. But while I was putting up all those numbers, JT also had like 3 rings, like just sitting there. So it's like, yeah, your numbers are great, but I'm a champion.
You know what it went from? It went from me worried about stats to the point it was just like, well, I just come and play when it's time to play. Playoff time to get busy.
JT, I never worried about him. Yeah. I never did. Only year I worked, 1 year was that 08 year. That was the only year where I was chasing things, but it's because I had shit going on. So
you had a lot going on.
It was come on, don't do that. Come on now, time out now. Don't stop that shit. Stop that shit. That's a lie. America, he lying on me right now. It wasn't like that. My grandfather died that year, and he knew that. You knew that.
Yeah, I knew that.
So I was just emotional about the shit. Like I changed my number to 1, and I was fucking on a rampage. Matter of fact, JT knew. Hey, he confirmed the story. First and foremost, we played them week 1. I had this shit. You know, people don't like circle calendars anymore.
You got busy that game. Tell her I remember that.
Busy ain't even the word, JT.
He called a slant. I was just like, y'all letting this guy here with these forces tear y'all up, man. Hey, I'm talking about he catching digs, taking it up the sideline.
Bro, like, busy's not the word. I've talked about this game, but this is when I can talk about things, confirm things, America. There's times I can say it's the best game I ever played, but no, might have been the best quarter of football ever played by a wide receivers league. Because we went back and forth in the first quarter of that game. And thank God JT and Terrence didn't play that game. It wouldn't even been that close because we lost by 12. Shout out Chad Cavender. I still remember that name, JT.
Mm-hmm.
Chad had 5 touchdowns. We lost to the backup quarterback, Chris, in our building without James Terry, 50-38. Man, I blew a gasket in that locker room. But let me get to this, Chris. This is the truth. And I know this for a fact as well. There's no other football player in the history of that league that 3 consecutive possessions scored a touchdown on 1 play. I went touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Every time they scored in the first quarter, I answered.
Hey, but he was out there huffing and puffing because he was
hot, dude.
He was huffing and puffing. I was like, boy, you put in some work out there, boy.
Hey, the netting lights was kicking.
Have you ever heard of a game in your life? Now, listen, you want to hear a stat line? So my stat line for that game, this is the truth. I had 4 catches, 105 yards, 4 touchdowns. The first quarter, I had 3 of those touchdowns. I didn't catch my 4th touchdown to the 4th quarter. It was my 4th catch. Who was trying to win that game? I got stories for days about the shit James talked about where we're going to run slant stop. Who stops on a slant unless it's a sluggo and I'm going up the field? It's a double move.
Right.
So it's not like America did not bring the GOAT of our league to brag about myself. I don't have to do that. Like, I don't have to because the proof's in the pudding. See, it's like James Terry goes like, y'all missing thousands of yards and hundreds of catches and dozens of touchdowns in my Hall of Fame speech. He probably had to go like, hey, by the way, I had 3 rings before this too. And it's a good thing they had me to deal with Eddie Evanston and them boys down in Lexington.
Boy,
Chris, you would have loved the league back then, man.
boy.
It was a bunch of NFL, CFL, AFL, and everybody was just trying to get money.
Nah, bitch, I'm cool. I was an A1. I'm good.
I mean, you had a cup of Chris. You know who you are. This is the one thing I say about JT. Like JT, I was trying to get to that and then get to the IFL shit, but you just went ahead and just went ahead Dennis Hopper on speed, just threw a bomb on a bus, and now we just
What I do, baby?
bus 50 miles an hour. JT's cup of coffee was a legit cup of coffee. He was over there in San Diego chilling out, man.
Oh, I had a sip. And then it told me
this dude had a legit couple of. This dude had some cups. He was out there hanging out. You and Darren. What was it like for you and Darren, like hanging out in San Diego together, man?
Bro, this was cool, man. I mean, it was already chemistry. You got to think we had a couple other guys out there also, like that I went to school with. We had our cornerback out there also. We had a lineman out there also, and our fullback was out there too.
And it was you was there, man. You had a prime row seat to. They talk about 3-headed monsters in the game now. We're running.
No,
LaDainian, LaDainian, Michael, and Darren.
No, let me tell you what the 3-headed monster was. Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and Doug Flutie was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the 3-headed monster right there.
Hey, so you're like, hey, the joke goes, so a Heisman Trophy winner, a Hall of Famer, and a future Hall of Famer walk into a bar.
Man.
This dude was catching passes from Doug Flutie, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees for a minute. Not like you gonna know, like you was out there. How long were you out there?
I was out there for a couple months because after that, I stopped playing football. After my grandma passed away, I was just like, I'm good on football. I just ain't got that drive no more. First funeral I ever went to in my life, and it tore me the hell up.
Yeah. So how did you get to Sioux Falls? See, Chris, I had it all mapped out, but you just threw a bazooka in there.
I don't want all this love shit. I want the nitty gritty of shit is what I want.
Well, here's the nitty gritty. All right. Well, I was gonna do that.
Who was the most, when you got to the IFL, who was the most overrated team that you played against and why?
Overrated. Oh man. When I first got there?
We'll call it throughout. You can give me a couple if you need to.
Overrated?
Overrated.
Well, you got there in 2009, so you had a pretty easy seat. Like you got to develop a true champion. So I'm gonna say this. There's one thing about Sioux Falls I can say playing against them. They weren't overrated, they weren't underrated. They were them.
They were who they were. I get you on that.
And they did it every time because I lost a lot of games to these guys that mattered. I lost the game of my grandfather's memorial. I lost the championship game. And in those 2 games, I had 6 touchdowns, and it didn't matter because they played football and they kept the ball. And when you didn't score that era of Sioux Falls football, if you didn't score and match them, when you had them down, because we had to lead a couple times in a championship game, and y'all were like,
I think y'all had to lead the whole game.
And then they came back, and we couldn't match them.
You know the thing about it though, when we got down, it was never the fact that like
they never panicked.
I never thought we was gonna lose, like ever. And you gotta think our secondary then, like we didn't have the best like athletically, but they played together so long and they played the system. Like they knew where to be at, and they played with each other so long. They knew where to be at to make plays.
Yeah, I mean, you honestly can't. When you talking about Trice and Dre, and I'm glad Dre's in the Ring of Honor. He deserves to be there.
Yeah.
And you talking about Pop, and then Justin Landis.
I love Landis, man.
Like that was And I don't know, maybe I think that's what's lost, like in the league, like even in the IFL, like and in sports, JT is like I don't think there's anything wrong with paying like homage to guys that are all league this and that. And then, but your job is to join that echelon and beat them. Like I feel like everybody, even in sports now, it's like, well, you need to give me mine now. And it's like, no, I didn't get mine until 08.
Yeah.
07, I led all of us in touchdowns in 07.
It was like 2-3 years. You led it.
I mean, receivers for 3 years straight, the entire league for 2 years straight. But it was like, okay, yeah, that's nice. He was the most improved player of the year. Like, I mean, how could we not give it to him? He caught 6 catches in Evansville for 2 games. And then the next year he had 75 for damn near 1,000 and 22 touchdowns. I think that's a most improved player. We should give him something. And yes, that's why he's first league all team. It was the year after that where, oh, Sioux Falls won this game, but some guy had 4 touchdowns and 4 catches. Maybe we should pay attention to that. The next week, 9 for 120, 2 touchdowns, Omaha. The week after that, Wichita, who was trash back then, 9 for 1 something, another 2. And Solo wasn't there yet. So that was like the Wichita where you're like, ooh, Wichita's on schedule. Thank God. 09, it was like, oh shit, Solo's coming in. How are we going to defend him today?
Yeah.
Chris, that was my first 3 weeks of that season. So that's when I was like, when people always like, Sioux Falls, I was like, no, them guys did what they did because I tried to beat them dudes by myself. And nobody's ever played against that team the way I played against that team. You ask Curtis Riggs to his face. He'd forget because he's been coaching for so long. Ain't nobody hurt him like I used to hurt him because we used to have exchanges, especially after when I was
right after the game. We out at the bar, drunk. He had the after parties and everything.
That sounds about right.
I mean, that was me at 26. I mean, I'm still drinking. I mean, I'm drinking peanut butter whiskey now. Shout out Screwball. For a little bit longer. You keep playing with a Screwball. Root Out Whiskey's liking everything.
Everything.
They might get a shout out here in a few days. Because all I want is a free bottle of liquor. But no, I would always, me and Coach Riggs look at each other and I would always go, so when are you going to coach me? He's like, well, when are you going to come here and play? Like that was like our running joke. But James Terry was my favorite guy to play against, Chris. Because we had a ritual that we actually started, like in 08. Because we used to kick it all the time, right? Off the field, because that was me. Like, dude, like I was not a guy like, I could never sleep before games. We played so late in the like it's so late. Like, why we gotta wait till 7? Can we play at noon? Like, but no, we play at 7 because we're pros. So I'd kick with this guy, and we had a rule. We'd always be like, hey, we would dap up, and then as soon, because we were both captains, coin flip, we'd shake hands, and we'd start cursing each other out for 3 hours. Remember that shit?
Hey, we was not friends with that coin.
Hey, for 3 hours, it would be all sorts of F-bombs and you bitch. It'd be all sorts of B words.
Oh, man. It was bad.
And then the game would end. And like I said, it took me a year to beat this guy. Like, it took a year. I lost to him for a year straight.
Right.
But it would always be after the game was like, so I'll see you in 30 minutes. I'll be at the hotel. Like,
all right. Come and pick you up. Shit, be ready.
Yep. Don't keep me waiting, loser.
So let me pose this question.
I was like, all right, I'll be ready.
That
shirt was ironed the day before, Chris.
I'll throw this question out, and Walt, I want you to answer this one too, because I give you shit all the time, but you're from Chicago and it's rough.
Rip.
I asked this question to you, JT, because I know the answer from my standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest part about making it out of Florida high school football? Like, what was the hardest part about making it out of Florida, period? Because don't get me wrong, like I said, my answer will probably be similar to yours. Like, I know you grow up with people who do this, that, and the third. By the 12th grade, you done lost a couple homeboys already, from it might be fed time to incarcerated to being just not living anymore. I get that.
Well, let me go first. I go first to that because mine's life.
So Walt, what was the hardest part of getting out of Chicago? Because even with you, like it's the same. It's still Chi-Town. Like
I would say for me, like it was. That's why I'm going first because mine's way lighter. It was easy because for me, my mom made the decision early. That's why in the intro, like it's right. It was like, you know, I'm from the South Side, but it's the South suburbs. I live in the suburbs. It's the West suburbs. When my pop's job, when my parents were still together, it moved us to Minnesota for a couple of years. And then my pops went back. My mom was there for a year. She said, we got to go back to Chicago. I honestly was pissed off. I was like, I don't want to leave Minnesota. You know, I had gotten used to being the little speck of pepper and all these salt flakes. I was good with it. Like I figured it out. I was Gucci with it. I was like, yo, I'm out here. I'm playing baseball. Like I was playing AAU basketball. Like mom was warming up to let me play football. Like life was good for me. I actually liked school back then. I'm gonna tell y'all both this, and I'm gonna tell the world. I'm not ashamed. I was doing plays. Like I was doing acting and shit. Like I was my whole me, and like I loved every minute of it. And she was like, "Hey, we going back to Chicago?" I said, "Well, here we go." Because I'm me, and I've been in Minnesota for 3 years. So I get back, they hear me, they're gonna be like, something wrong with him, something a malfunction. But she purposely put us in the west suburbs. She was like, I'm not gonna put you guys in the city. One, because she knew better, because she was true South Side, my mom. She's like, one, they'll eat you alive. And two, she's like, I just didn't want that for you guys. I would rather me struggle for a year or two. You know, we'll live in these apartments in unincorporated Hinsdale. And I'm going to put you in a situation that's going to help you get out. Her goal was always, we go to college, my sister.
Right.
So for me, it was easy because she didn't allow it to happen. Now, my regret to that is that my dad told me years later, I was in college, he's like, you know, son, had I known you were going to be that good at football, I honestly thought about getting you and bringing you to the South Side. And I would have put you in Mount Carmel. I said, help me. You know, like, so you tell me I would have went to Donovan McNabb school? That would have helped a little bit. I would have gladly taken the bus all day and dealt with the South Side for 4 years to be there because Carmel wanted the state title my senior year, and I was already the best receiver in the city. So I wanted to do the light part because both of y'all had it way rougher than me. I don't ever want to get it mixed up on here like that. Like the crib is the crib, and I'm from the crib, but I was protected by my mom. My mom was like, you out here for a reason, like, and you got 3 choices. Earn this money for school, earn this money for them sports, I'm putting your ass in the military. So I'd have ended up at Georgia Military Academy. I'd have been. Go ahead, JT.
Shit, for me, man, I don't think it was. I mean, Miami, you know what it is. People getting shot every day.
Yeah.
Fighting, you can't even start a fight, right? Like I told everybody, I ain't fighting nobody. Because don't nobody know how to take no ass whooping. They gonna want to shoot your ass.
Yep.
So I mean, for me, it wasn't too bad. Like my mom and dad, like they kept us so focused on like sports, like we gonna work these jobs, so y'all ain't gotta worry about nothing else but y'all sports and getting the hell out of here. For me, it wasn't too bad leaving home because I had like 3 brothers that went to college before me. So they experienced it, and I got like to see them going to bowl games and them coming home with all their stuff. So I was excited about it. But I wasn't looking forward to go to JUCO route, was my thing. Because when you see Last Chance U, it is just like that, bro.
It's real.
It's real out there. And I went to the El Dorado, Kansas. Like, what the fuck is that at?
Nowhere.
Nothing but cornfields and like, bro, it was bad out. Like I tried to come home. My first semester in college, I had a 0.7 GPA. 0.7. My mom, I was so mad I couldn't go home. My mom and them sent my ass to summer school. Couldn't go home, 0.7. about to damn just drop out and go back home, calling home every damn day to come home. And they got to the point, my mom was like, your ass will stop calling here because you ain't coming back home. So you got to make it work. So if it wasn't for my mom and dad, honestly, I would have probably been one of them people back home doing nothing, bro.
I feel that.
I was damn sure trying to leave school. When I got there, first week, it was just like, man, Kansas, Miami is not the same. I got to get the fuck up out of here, boy.
Hey, can you say that again in a sentence? Like that's not more obvious. Let's say it again so we can. It's like what you literally said.
Let me tell you this though. When I went, before I went to Sioux Falls, it was between the Florida Firecats A2 and Sioux Falls. So I was just like, man, I'm fucking, hell yeah, I'm going to Florida. I'm taking a drive over here to Tampa. It was like in, God, where were they? Like St. Pete then or something like that?
Yep.
Went over there, started playing with them. But I was just like, man, these fucking facilities is terrible. Like, we out here practicing at the park and everything, man. Facilities terrible. So I called my agent, was just like, man, you think we can still get out to Sioux Falls? And I almost signed with Sioux City because Sioux City and Sioux Falls I thought was the same damn thing.
Yep.
We all did for a while. No disrespect to Sioux City.
Yeah. So.
Well, some disrespect to Sioux City based on stories that have been told.
But it got to the point, it was just like, all right, shit, we're going to get you a plane ticket to come out to Sioux Falls. So I'm on the map like, where the fuck is South Dakota at anyways? Let me go look on the map and see where the hell I'm going. I get up here, Blackburn picked me up from the airport in Omaha.
Shout out Mark Blackburn, one of the truest dudes.
Oh man, he picked me up and I'm just seeing shit but cornfield. And all I'm thinking is like, nigga, you done fucked up. Like, what are you doing? Like, man, we out here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, fucking cold as hell. I'm just like, man, look at all these damn white people out here. Like, what the hell? But man, it worked out. Like, you know, like you saw the facilities and everything they had us. Like, it was like they treat you like family. So it just made it better. Coming from Miami, now it's like going back home to Miami. You see the same people doing the same shit. Like I could have been out there. We still on the corner drinking. Niggas still getting knocked off every day. So like right now, like I'm good enough to go home and visit, but I don't think I'm moving back there.
I get it. Boy, I get it.
Yeah.
Like for me, and my story is similar. Like like my brothers or whatever, they was in and out the game, so they was in and out of prison, whatever. But like my cousin or whatever, like he was like that dude in high school. So like I saw the letters coming in and all that, and like, damn, you got a letter from Spurrier? Damn, you got a letter from Nick Saban? Oh, that's what's up. And then like hit a little growth spurt, got a little better or whatever. And like I remember going into 12th grade, good friend of mine, dude I played pt1 football with, got shot in the chest on the way home. Damn, like we just hung out like couple days before or whatever. So got a little serious with football, signed a scholarship to state, got in a little trouble or whatever. And they sent me to Senatobia, Mississippi to hide out. Got to Mississippi and like I ain't never been called boy so many times in my life.
Wait a minute, you played for Bobby Bowden. What you mean?
That's different though. Like it's a whole different type. Like it's love when he said.
Yeah.
When they say it in Mississippi, you know exactly what they want to say.
Right.
So get there, whatever, and like, and that's the thing, like, as long as you playing, you all right. And like, as long as I had football, I was good. During that off season for my little time now, like, man, this some bullshit. I want to go home, bro. Like this, like, I just go home and I'll go work at the port. Like I'll go work at something. Like I can't do this shit. Alabama came, took that scholarship. It was fine. Once again, got called boy every day. And then fast forward, NFL fizzled out. Got with A1. The whole league shut down.
I mean, that actually messed up a lot of money for three people in this conversation right now. We was all on. I mean, you were there, but me and JT was on our way to get paid.
Bro, I'm gonna
tell you the truth. I turned down like 4 AFL contracts, bro. I turned down. Went to camp with Nashville. I left there. I got calls from Colorado and Chicago. I was just like,
well, yeah, those
like,
calls from Colorado and Chicago in that era, it's like I would have turned them down too. When you talking about Bobby Scipio and Damian Harrell, like I'd have been like, "What you really talking about?"
But you know who I was gonna sign with that I wanted to, but my agent told me to wait. I was gonna sign with them right after the tryout. God, what's the team that they had in LA? The Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the LA Avengers. I was just like, nigga, I'm in Cali. We stay like a block away from Venice Beach. Nigga, let's sign this contract right now.
And the crazy part is I live in San Jose now. Mine was San Jose. So me and Chris would have ended up meeting each other either way because Billings was kind of the flex for San Jose. And that's what they told me. They were like, dude, we're gonna like that's why I love Reed I love Robert Reed to death. I love Coach O and Chris. They're like, if we can get you to run high motion, because you knew that about me, Jay. Like when you played me, JT, I was a stationary guy.
Stand still all game. Just stand still all damn game.
And whoop your ass from the stationary. Like, yeah, you don't want these problems. Like at all.
I was just like, y'all know he ain't coming in motion.
Nope. And I'm still gonna beat the shit out you on this little ass field with these ugly ass shoes, with these ugly looking routes, but at the same time, they're wide receiver gorgeous. It's like, how is he open with them shoes on?
No, it was disgusting. Disgusting looking out there on that field. Out there disgusting. Then you know when he get tired, he got that walk back to the huddle.
Hands on his hips.
Hey, you know what? I listen.
Hey, he out there eating, but boy, when you see that walk come, oh, he tired now, boy. Yeah, just like that.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Like, and Chris, this is me taking my shot at getting this canceled. So I'm gonna try to say this. I'm gonna see how well I can say it because I've been drinking. But there was a certain air that I thought I felt from like our league. And it was nobody was like putting this out or anything like that or whatever. Because I had such a high, like the way the pads made the way I walked back to the huddle and everything was all kind of high and back. And I wore hoop earrings.
Damn, so did. I forgot about that.
There was a thing where I honestly felt like people were like, well, okay. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to take credit or no credit for anything, but I also knew that played a presence in some things. Like it was like, it'd be like guys like JT and Terrence and Chris, and Q, Jaquan Brackenridge, and even me and Reed and Coach O, like, okay, we gotta really let's size this dude up. Cause like we can't tell when he on the field. Because when he on the field, it's different.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it without I love my show too much, but I want to let it be known that if you want to talk about acceptance, go to the IFL. That's all I can say. We might curse and talk shit and drop F-bombs and N-words on this podcast, and I love it. But they all accepted me and loved me, and I think half of them was like, I think something might be up with that guy with them hoop earrings. I can't tell with him yet. Like, I don't know. He's interesting, but he'll go dive 10 rows in a stand for a ball, so I can't tell. But here's what I'm gonna say bottom line, JT. And the reason why I want you in the show, and if you enjoyed it, is like we've had everybody. You got our numbers, you come back anytime and talk about whatever, whenever.
Anytime.
I wanted to personally tell you, like I said, and seeing the success that league is having, the IFL, that the things that you did and what you represented as a player in that league will always go beyond anything. Because I feel like there's a player that thought like me, like, well, that's the guy that has all the records. So if I can't get where I can get, why don't I get to a team and I help a team and get them to this point? You won so many titles with that team, dude. Like, you mattered. They talk about us like we don't matter at times. But in that league, in our league, You can't win that league without a dominant wide receiver.
Yeah.
It does not work that way. And you were as dominant as anybody I ever played against. And I always want to give roses to guys, especially on a platform like this where people can see it. Dude, it was an absolute honor to be able to curse at you.
You ought to hear how me and Chris go at it. Oh, I used to tell Chris, like, man, we was beating your ass before Walt got there. Hey, you know how Chris is. I used to be like, man, look, before Walt got there, we was tattooing that ass. Like, we was beating the hell out of Chris though.
And
you know what? Hold on. This is what I want to do. And honestly, we done ran so long in this show, we're not gonna do it.
It doesn't matter. As long as it plays, it's dope because JT's on it.
Here's what I'm gonna do. If JT, if you got time this week, we'll try to go early or whatever. I want to have Dixon on this damn show and have it be all four of us. God, if I could get if I could get Bays on it too, just so I can have somebody else on.
Well, I can like this. I paid the money for the Zoom, so we can have up to 8 people on this mug.
So JT, if you got time this week, we'll figure out Bay's schedule. We'll do it early enough because I know everybody got to work this week, and y'all two go to work way earlier than I do. I sit in front of the computer and I go to work about 9 o'clock in the morning. So damn all that.
Well,
but,
what's your off? Let me not do that in public. Nobody know your off days, JT. I was already trying to arrange stuff. We can do that off the air.
You good, bro.
But no, I want to try to get off.
Oh, you kidding me? Hey, listen, you talking about epic proportions? Chris Dixon, James Terry.
Oh, we gonna go at
James Walton. And then if you really want to do it, and we get Solo on here, that would be.
Oh yeah.
That would be a hell of a show.
Let's see who all we can get in contact with. I'm gonna have Bays on just so I can talk shit to Bays because that's what I do. Outside of that, let's try to get that figured out for this week before we all get out of here and have a drunken mess at this weekend.
But it is time. Do you feel like it's time, don't you, CT?
Yeah, I mean, dude, we already at. It's a long show that we can't edit, so it's a long show. This is a long show. So
it was worth it.
It was beyond worth it. I'm gonna be quick, America.
Well, wait, hold up. We gotta explain to JT because JT said he told us all he does is go to work and go to sleep.
That's it, bro.
So JT,
explain to him
the way we end this show. You know how it is when you're in an argument, you got a conversation, and when somebody really trying to get out a point, they be like, "Hey, just give me a minute, bro. Just give me a minute." And you try to get that point out. Now, anytime somebody say, "Give me a minute," this shit ain't a minute, but you get a minute essentially to talk your shit. Whatever you want to get off your chest is uninterrupted. We'll let it out, and we'll go. And all you got to do is start off by saying, "America, give me a minute."
Oh man,
because we trademarked it. Like I paid for that trade.
Y'all should have given me a heads up because I could have wrote this down and made it good, boy.
We like off the dome better.
Okay.
So I'll do this. I'll go first, and I'm gonna be decent with mine tonight, for the most part. So America, give me a minute. IFL, you bullshitting. Here's what you need to fucking do. All right. The dudes you got calling these games right now are trash. You need somebody who's been in the game, who understands the game. They don't need just to have a journalistic degree or have friends or somebody in the league office. You need somebody who actually been in the games and can actually talk about and to the game to the fans. Because the guys you got running it right now are trash. All right? I don't know nobody's name. And if they don't like it, they can at me. Whatever. I got just enough money to fly out wherever and fight you and fly back home. So, all that being said, you know who to call. We asking you to do it. Like you ain't got it's not a hard conversation. You give us a call, we set it up. We'll play for a game check. We'll play for one of my game checks, not Walt game checks. We'll play for a game check. And we'll go from there. And it'll be the best 2 hours, 2.5 hours, however long IFL games are now. and it'll be entertaining instead of this dry, nonsensical bullshit you got going on with these two dudes right now. So, IFL, because you will be tagged in this, make your next decision your best decision. America, that's been my minute.
Man, fuck that. America, give me a goddamn minute. That IFL shit is watered down right now. Watered down. If them teams would have been in the league when we was playing back in the day, man, shit, it would have been 130-8. What is it? Trash. I ain't even gonna lie. Trash. All of them trash. All them teams out there trash, bro. Overrated, watered down. You see it. I mean, you watch the games now, and I'm just like, I don't even get the itch. Like, we would have beat the hell out of some of these teams. Like, are you serious? Like, my argument, I always tell people, like, I'm not going to argue with any of you receivers out there. Put some film on against that Billings defense. You give Coach O a fucking talent like that, good as a coach he is, like, come on, bro. These shit you see out here now, watered down. You see games 35-26. That ain't no damn game. That's a first quarter score. Like, come on, man. IFL is trash right now. That shit is watered down like crazy, man.
There we go.
Hey, he literally kept that to like under a minute.
It's to the point.
It is, bro. Have you watched the games lately? It's terrible.
I've watched a couple.
It's terrible. Man.
I listen to Coach O's games on the radio. Outside of that, it's hard to watch something, JT, when you caught 2 touchdowns when you were 30-something.
And how is he not back? How is he not back in the IFL?
But I guess I guess you guys have kind of influenced
No, answer that
give
question,
me a minute.
Walt. How is Coach O not back in the IFL coaching?
Because they don't want him there.
Hey, him and Riggs held the league hostage for years.
Years.
And they actually, it's quiet as kept. I can't speak for either one of them, but like they respect and actually really kind of like each other so much. And I guarantee they talk the same shit about each other away from each other so much. Like they're the same guy in 2 different versions. Like it's Curtis has his version because I can picture him just because I've had conversations with him. But I've also drank Hennessy and played Madden with Coach O. Like I know how much he respects Coach Riggs. He does. He was like, I have to beat him.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say that's why I love having Chris on the show. I love having you guys here, having, the top and the bottom of Florida. Like it's great. But the Chi-Town mentality, America, that just actually got me to my give me a minute. So I'm going to do what I always do and shout out Screwball.
You tell Chris Dixon to meet me on here sometime next week. That's what you do.
Yeah, shout out whatever strawberry shake that is. I think that's strawberry.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna text him right now. Tell him I'm coming for his head when he get on.
Yeah, go ahead. You let him know he just got his shake bottle and whatever strawberry shit was in there that looked gross. Just got a shout out. And shout out White Claw Watermelon. Brings me to my point. I'm going to go ahead and pay homage to him within my give me a minute before we have him on the show. But I think I did the math with Coach O. We talked about it. In the history of professional football, there have only been like 2 handfuls of black coaches that have won championships. Mike Tomlin, of course, stands out, and so does Tony Dungy, because they're the only 2 to ever do it at the highest level. I'm missing a coach from the AFL. I forget. Coach O knows his name.
Which team?
I think it's like an A1. Oh no, it's the guy that coached down in the intense football league before we merged. He was their coach.
Okay.
And he was a brother. It might be one more, and then it's Coach O. In the history of professional football, America, there might be a 6 or something. There have only been 7 black coaches that have ever won professional titles in the game of football.
Which is nuts. You think about like the league is what, 80, 85, 90%?
Yeah. So the reason why I put this into my give me a minute here, and the reason that I pay homage to Coach O'Neil is I can only speak for me. I try to speak for others, but I'll speak for me. So we had all these conversations about, slant stops and embarrassing me on television. That happened to a guy that had first round talent. I know it's happened to Chris Turner multiple times in his life. We've heard his disdain for Coach Mike Shula. Well, I don't even know, is he even coaching football anymore, Chris? Like,
the quarterback coach.
JT is dying right now. You should hear what he has said about Mike Shula.
Fuck Mike Shula.
My give me a minute's the best because you can actually interrupt mine. But the point that I'm making about Coach O'Neil is, and I will tell this story until I'm gray. There is no greater players coach. When you talk about a true players coach, it's Coach O'Neil. I'll tell you guys a story, and it'll be my give me a minute so we can get JT to bed. He's got to go to work. And me and Chris don't get grounded any more than we're already grounded. I'm just kidding, babe. Oh, wait, I'm not kidding. No, she's like, you're grounded, bitch. Anyway, we were playing Fairbanks. It was the first time we went up there on the road, Chris, 2009. And you don't know this, but me and O, we talk about this all the time. And Chris Dixon will either back this because he was right there. I had finally worked my way into the Coach O, Chris Dixon huddle, which was famous for 2 years. Because that's basically where they designed like the entire offensive game in those timeouts. Like, all right, if we do this score here, whatever, like, they were like, by the 18th touchdown, we can let Walt come in here. He's got 18 in 5 games. He's earned it. Come here, buddy. So we're in Fairbanks. We're like 3rd and 9 on their 1-yard line. And I had been reading coverage the whole 9. They had been playing us like JT, like flat, like 7 yards. And we just needed a first down to get out of the game because they played us well. Like that was like the line, like they were starting to figure it out and win games. So like because they had a good run, like Lonnie and the quarterback that Chris threw over the wall and Billings in week 4 the same year. Like they were figuring it out.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and I come over, and they're like, "Well, what do you see?" They both, and I said, "Throw me the hitch, I'll get the first down." They were like, "Throw you the hitch? Like you don't want the corner or the ball?" I said, "No, throw me the hitch. The way that he's playing me, I was like, whenever we went 2 by 2, I was always left high motion, and he was always giving me enough to get 10 yards and get a first down." So me and Chris, we worked so much in the offseason that year that that's why I love him to death as a football. There's no better quarterback. Like when you have that type of communication is, if I'm throwing you a certain way, as all quarterbacks do at the high level, I'm throwing you to open space, which means like take the ball and go where the ball's going. Don't do like what we see all these young MFers do. Like I don't get this football anymore. If you throw me someplace, it's the trust I have in you as a player that you're taking me to open space. Like you're not trying to kill me. So Chris, I say, all right, well, I'll throw it to you. You better get the first down. You call him for a hitch, Mr. Go over the wall man. We're on the 1-yard line. This catch is still a record to this day. I'm tied for it. You don't see it because there's been a lot of 49-yard touchdowns, but I was the first 49-yard touchdown in the league. We ran the hitch. They played cover 0. exactly like I thought. Chris threw me inside, and that safety missed the tackle. 49 out the gate. Wasn't even close. And this is when I was starting to, that film that you guys were starting to see, JT, was like, we thought this dude, according to his AFL jacket, was 4'7". Like, no, he's not 4'7". There's something different about him.
Oh no, I knew that. No, you told me you was 4'7". No.
Yeah. They thought I was 4'7".
You want to. 250 yards later, you ain't gonna believe it no more. Shit.
But only a coach that is a true player's coach can go, all right, well, this is your call. If you don't get the first down, it's on you. So to the newly minted, well-deserving, took you way too long to be there. From my crib, where you don't always get the opportunities that I got. Because I've hung out at Coach O's house a couple times. And that's the Wild Hunteds. And I asked Chris Turner about the Wild Hunteds.
Yeah.
It is not a game out there.
Yeah.
Ron O'Neal, thank you. And we all are appreciative of that because all you do is make us as young black men. Because Coach O is still a young black man.
Yeah,
we need to go continue to achieve. Because that guy got a guy to vote for him when he wasn't even a thought on a bracket. He wasn't even a thought on a not bracket, on a ballot. We have him on the show. I didn't even know that till today, Coach O. This is a guy that believed in you so much.
Even last year, yeah, I voted shit. Every time he was on the ballot, I voted for him. And it started to piss me off because I was just like, how in the hell is he not getting in?
That's your influence on black men. You've, even in this league where people are starting to see it now, because now it's on national television where guys like you and James Terry that are pillars and Hall of Famers have laid the foundation for that. You get this owed from me, and you still gonna come on the show, and I'm gonna repeat myself because I'm drunk. But America, it's been my minute. Don't ever forget that I have the longest touchdown in the history of that league.
Now, nobody remember that.
And the most receiving touchdowns in the history.
Oh my
of
God.
that.
With all that,
I'm gonna show you something real fast. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, you go ahead and show me. Show me something that's probably you with way more something than me.
as we wait for JT to get back, and with all that being said,
Why do I feel like your camera is just going black and white? Like I feel like Robert De Niro's gonna come in here and shoot me or something. Like what's happening?
With all that being said, follow us.
What is happening with your webcam?
I don't know. Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube is all What's Good America. Walt does have the longest touchdown in IFL history, tied with 20 other people.
Oh, what you got? What'd you go grab?
Chris, he got longest touchdown, but man, look at him.
Oh, he went and did it. I knew he was gonna do something. I had to let him do it.
Hey, I just told him, I was just like, he lucky I ain't got all my rings here. I would have put every finger on like this. Like my face.
Oh, that was perfect.
On the real though, my dog used to get busy out there, like, and I always told
Don't worry about it, man. Listen to me.
It is not too many other people that I would even argue with.
Well, yeah, I mean, first it's me, JT, like.
Yeah, you and Solo is like the only two, like, outside of that, I'm just like, I'm not even getting into that.
There is no argument that I can't win with you outside of rings. And then it just shuts everything the hell up. I can win every other argument with you. That might be a show by itself for another day.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go because we always.
Receptions, you got me because you had 100 reception season. I remember that year. You went nuts that year.
Well, you gave it to me because you just tapped out and quit playing football.
I did.
You tapped out and quit playing football. I mean, you made it easy for me.
Thank you.
You made it easy.
Did you hear that?
Oh my God.
I tapped out. And he meant that respectfully. He's like, nah, I could have stayed with him, but I was like, no, it's my time. And JT was like, it's good over here in Sioux Falls. They kept winning titles, boy. They were winning titles.
Think about it. When
Him and Chris were
came,
like, They was messing everybody up.
I remember that hype though. That hype before you went to Billings, they was just like, oh, James Walton and James Terry trying to team up and play together.
I was like, yeah, because I was done.
I'm talking about they got pictures of Walt at the after parties with us and everything. Bowling, the golf tournament, everything.
And keep them shits on lock. Those don't need to see the light of day ever in this show.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. With me, when Kristen was out here, we won a championship. We was having a party at the house. Police show up to the house. Knocking on the door was just like, yeah, we just getting noise complaints and everything like that. He was just like, yeah, we just won a championship. You know what I'm saying? We just having a good time. They walk out and leave. Guess who walks in behind them? The damn referees from the championship game. Bro, we got pictures with the referees drunk as hell in the house. Coach Riggs was last like, please don't let them damn pictures get out.
Ever.
Collusion. I knew it. No, they beat us fair and square. Like,
hey,
those games are fair and square. And Chris, JT knows that. We are all Black history because for a long time, some of us were the only Black dudes to come in there and win a game in Sioux Falls. There's a lot of us. Me, you, Chris Dixon, Coach O, Robert Red, Mike Bazemore, Mike Landry, Gaddafi Tunsil. It was hard to get a win in that mug. Like, they don't know, JT. Like, Jack, you're a part of football history. Nobody will ever. That streak I don't think that streak will ever be broken.
It was some game, boy. Like, we went to
40
war.
in a row. Y'all won 40 in a row in that building, bro.
Bro, we went to war. Like, they need to do like a documentary on that rivalry. Because, boy, we went to war.
Sioux Falls, Billings.
Oh my God, I was hyped to go to Billings because I know I'm about to go out. Me and Chris will be in
the. We'll be in the chapter called "The Tide Changed."
Hey, I was going to go out to the Carlin and I'm about to wild out all night. Hey, I'm about to go out. I'm about to wild out all night. Toughen up. Me and Toughen up, taking shots.
Hey, hold on. So let me say this and then we got to get out of here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's give me a minute. It got better. It got better after Mike give me a minute.
I remember we played Sioux Falls or whatever. We won. Whatever, we going out to the car and having a good time. And like, soon as we get in there, I see JT and man, ain't that the receiver for another team? It's like, yeah, man, we knew he was gonna be here, whatever. About an hour into it, like he had the table, got bottles and everything. I'm like, this like, yeah, bro, like he do that every time he come, bro. Like, like he take over the whole thing. I'm like, this little guy right there, shit.
Hey. That to me is like, you just see all this shit now. It's like, you know how they're like, even with the NBA, they're like, oh, the camaraderie is like, yeah, it was that for us. But we had the ability to turn it off from 7:02 to 10 o'clock. Like, nobody, like, me and this dude didn't even look at each other during games. It was like, dude, you a bitch. Well, he's like, man, you kiss my ass, you black.
I'm gonna tell you one thing you forgot about. Remember the bet we used to always have? Whoever win that night got to buy the drinks.
I bought a lot of drinks.
Hey, we were just like, all right, we won. We finna go to the after party. We're gonna get you drunk tonight.
Yeah, I bought a lot. I 2008, I bought a lot of drinks.
Yeah,
I put a whole lot of faith on the other 7 people on that field.
Oh man, sick to my stomach.
Close us out, Chris. Let's get the hell out of here.
With that being said, it's been another episode. It's been a long episode of What's Good America. That's JT. That's Big Game James. I'm C. Turner. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube. It's all What's Good America. This episode will be out sometime this week before the drunken nonsense of Arizona happens. And we're going to try to get this episode with Dixon, JT, Bays, Walt, and myself sometime this week. So we're going to figure it out and make that happen. But at the end of the day,
I got to get Coach O on that show too.
Coach O, if you got time. But at the end of the day, IFL stop bullshitting. IFL, stop bullshitting and stop dodging us because we coming for you. But
Hey,
at the end of the day,
tell Chris don't come on. I'm gonna bring Terrence over here now.
Ooh.
with that note,
Oh man.
Walt,
You ask TB if he wants to come on so we can just the whole show, we get everybody on Spotify, and we're just gonna call it Talk Shit from 2005 to 2010.
You remember we used to call them Biggie and Tupac?
That's man, look.
Walt, can you please ask the question to end this damn long ass show, please?
Yeah, so I can unrecord this. The question is very simply, what's good, America?
What's good, America?